First, I hope your Thanksgiving Day was richly blessed and that these days around Thanksgiving are as well. And it's not lost on me that there is sadness for many and for all. There are countless blessings. As I've said, I am so grateful for you and all the people in my life. Secondly, I am particularly excited that, now this is especially for parishioners, that we've established our Renew mini retreat programs. Here's why, what, and how, right? So the why is, as it says on the back of these little cards, which we'll have in the back of church. If you're online, if you're going to register, just go to our webpage or just call the office, we'll connect you. But these cards mention, and by the way, women's, men's, color-coded, so I don't screw it up. They're called Renew, to renew the goodness already inside of you, to renew your relationship with God, and to renew your connection one to another. Lots more. They're just lovely, and tons of food. Right. Secondly, this parish is just so vibrant and in so many ways, and we want to continue to think further ahead. And so we're developing a survey. We take people very seriously, our parishioners' wisdom, your energy, your willingness to generously share with what God has given you for the good of all, and your ownership of God's work here. So all I'm asking is that when that survey is made available, that you take the time to fill it out. We really want to hear. I think it's not lost on all of us here that we were greatly blessed that when All Things New ended, even though 80% of the priests in the Archdiocese got transferred and many parishes got combined, some closed, some merged, we remain as a parish. And Father Leo and I were both blessed to stay. And so we want to continue to listen to God's guidance for us going forward. So finally, we pray that this Advent season will be richly blessed for you. A gazillion things on our webpage, all kinds of opportunities. It's really wonderful. Thanks for joining. Here's the homily. I don't know if you've ever heard the sound of a mousetrap snapping shut, but it is a sound that always startles me. Even if I am the one who sets it off, I still jump. How interesting then that that's the image that Jesus uses today to describe the end. He says, "Beware that your hearts do not become drowsy, and that day catch you by surprise like a trap." That's it. Done. Over. No time for second guesses or a change of heart. Just the snap of a trap that closes shut. But is that how it really goes? Is there not more to this process than that split-second snap of the trap that we might first think? With the mouse trap, after all, it is first baited. It's placed in an area where the mouse, at least where the mouse tends to hang out. And for a while, after the mouse smells it and is attracted, it then snoops around a bit, and it is finally caught, but only after first smelling it, being attracted, and snooping around a bit, and then swiftly at the end, but not immediately. And I would suggest that is what it is like for us as well, both positively and negatively. Negatively, we are in school and we want to fit in, so we say and do stuff we wouldn't normally do. All right, we'll try that alcohol or weed, whatever. We'll start making fun of that kid or those same people that others make fun of, to be accepted. In college, maybe we start skipping classes more and more because, well, because. Or we stop coming home immediately after work to be with our family. Instead of, we have a cold one with coworkers and friends. I mean, not that that's necessarily bad, right? Then it becomes always almost, and then maybe at night we start to have 1 or 3 or so beers, just to take the edge off. And we spend more and more time on those websites, and we know they're not great because we wouldn't want anyone else to see what we're looking at. But no harm really, right? And those podcasts and news feeds that leave us feeling more and more angry with how this world is and how they are. Well, we should be angry, right? In subtle and almost unnoticed ways, we linger around the trap of temptation and sin. And then suddenly, the trap closes. Our world falls apart. And we wonder how we ever got there. But if we're honest, seldom is it a complete surprise how we got to there, wherever there is. It's not like I get out of the car one morning and oops, suddenly I'm a thief. It's not that one day I was walking down the street and suddenly I have an affair. I wasn't sitting at my desk and all at once I'm an alcoholic. No, we smell the scent, we're attracted, we snoop around a bit before we're caught. And thus Jesus says, beware that your hearts do not become drowsy, and that day catch you by surprise like a trap. But I think this snooping around and finding ourselves caught works the other way as well. We admire that guy who cares for the poor, or, seeing those folks that, volunteer, who seem to enjoy it, their work up at church or school. It strikes a chord in us, and we start to hang out with them a bit, and we start to do some of what they do. Or maybe we come home early from work and surprise our family members or spouse with a dinner out or with a great conversation. We learn to listen to someone outside that same circle of people we normally hang with. And we begin to realize how we are much more alike than different. And our hearts become more compassionate. Or we spend less and less time on those websites or news feeds and find ourselves signing up for that presentation, this Bible study, those new retreat programs, right? And in a similar way, the trap is sprung, but this time we are caught by love. We find ourselves drawn to the goodness of people, and that touches the goodness in us. And we're drawn more and more to the compassionate, kind, inclusive, loving ways of Jesus. And we are willingly trapped in his ways that lead to love, that lead to life. Here at the very beginning of Advent, Jesus reminds us how important it is that we are aware, that we do not sleepwalk through these days, so caught up in all the things we think we have to do this time of year that we don't even notice what kind of traps we might be snooping around, right? Jesus knows that this awareness is key. Because then we are more free to really choose what we want to capture our hearts. In the end, it's not a matter of whether or not the trap will snap shut, but rather, where will our hearts be when it does happen?